What's up, my dudes? In this video I'm going to teach you how to do a very basic work intention spell. This spell is for anyone that wants to provide a custom effect into their work life. So maybe if you start a new job or maybe you're in a new position, this will sort of tailor the experience that you have during work, and it'll also sort of set the course for what you want to accomplish when you're at work or if anything relates to your work life. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with mint. This is good for protection. Always start with protection, but this is also good for growth, and it's also a good abundance herb. So if you want to attract any sort of abundance of clients or abundance of food or abundance of maybe work opportunities, this is good for you. And especially if you have the fresh version, that'll work even better. The dried version is more for stability, but you can also use the fresh. And we're going to be placing this in a clockwise motion. If you for some reason wanted to like remove obstacles or remove anything from you, then you could use the mint to sort of grow a barrier around you. So that's a way that you could also go about this, but this way we're going to focus more on the growth of the abundance, so we're going to be doing it clockwise. Next thing is lavender. Lavender is good for calmness and is also a good soothing herb. This is for if you don't really want the chaos of a workplace, maybe you don't want to be as stimulated, or maybe you just want to just ease your way through it. This is a good herb to just be a little bit more calm and just a bit more relaxed while you're at work. Now we're going to add a petition. This is just something that you can write your intentions on the back side, and then on the face side you can put any sort of symbols that you want. These symbols are pretty recognizable, but if you don't know, this is for peace, happiness, protection, and money. So general things that you want while you're working, and it's also something that you can pretty much use in all aspects of your life. So this is good symbols for if you want to attract any sort of these, if you want to attract these effects. Also, if you want to, you can just use runes or certain sigils, but this is a very simple beginner spell. If you choose to fold this, make sure you fold it towards you, so you're folding it this direction, and then also make sure you're turning it clockwise, because this is attracting, this is more removing or setting up boundaries. Now we're just going to place this at the bottom. If you would like to, you could also just burn this directly, but we're going to be adding an extra step that I usually like to do when it requires any sort of petitions. If you want to, you can just have lighter fluid on this, then you could burn this petition, maybe sprinkle it around you at work, or maybe keep it in a charm bag while you're at work. But we're going to take it a step further, and this is also an optional step. If you don't want to, you can just burn it like this, and that'll be the end, but we're going to step it up a little bit. The way we're going to do that is by using a white candle with any sort of sigils carved into it. I don't have my carving tool on hand at the moment, so I'm not going to show you what to carve, but anything that you feel that would apply to the petition that you worked for. But this is more for the inner aspects of this. This is more of the grounding, what you're going to be doing, like the basic standards of your work life. And then this is more like, okay, I'm going to be earning this amount, I'm going to be working these amount of hours, this is the general shift I'm doing. These are the things you want to carve into the candle. And then onto that, you can also have pieces of paper. This is just left over from the carving of that one, but you can have different petitions, or maybe if you want to attract abundance of a few clients, or maybe you want to work with different companies, you could also have different companies on different pieces of paper and then wrap that onto the candle. The candle is more of the focused energy that you want to bring towards you on a mental basis, and this is more of the grounding physical basis. And then you could also tie this with any sort of twine. This is from a paper bag from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or something. So you could just use this to tie it around your candle, and then you can bind your petitions that way. This is a good way to not only focus the intentions on your workplace, but also keep it under wraps for what exactly you're wanting. So if you have any sort of limitations or anything, this would be a good time to bind those away from you while you're setting up your candle. So once you're done carving your candle, it's time to light it. Again, if you bind any sort of petitions to it, just make sure you're safe whenever you're doing that. I'm going to be dripping it over the petition and then having this be in a bag. If you would like to, you can just burn the candle on top of the paper and then just have it done that way. I want to sort of seal in the intentions with the candle wax, so that's the way that I'm going to do it. If you would like to do it a different way, go ahead. And we're also going to be using a purple lighter. This is good for any sort of luxury, but it's also a very like peace and calming, high quality type of energies to it, so that's something that you could also use for this. You could also use a blue lighter for peace, or if you want to be very grounded in your company, maybe use a brown. If you want to if you're a new employee and you want to enlighten yourself and maybe be a bit boosted up from your current status, you could use yellow. Multiple different colors for different properties, but this is what I'm going to be using for this spell. Now what I'm first doing is I'm dripping the wax over the seal just so it'll lay down flatter. And this is also sort of sealing your intentions and sealing the energies of your petition. And then once it is sealed and everything is fine, you can go ahead and just sprinkle it over everything. Or if you want to, you can just completely out your candle after it's done sealing. It's really up to you and what your practice is. If you are wondering, this is a 6-hour candle, so this is for like emergency lighting of, I think it lasts like 6 hours or so. I think it lasts like 6 hours or so. So if that is something that you want to really focus your intentions on, you could burn this whole candle, but this is more just for sealing it. But yeah, that's the basic premise of the spell. Once you're done, or if you're done sealing or your candle burns out completely, you just have this in a pouch. This is going to go in my work bag, so it'll be that intentions for that. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Have a good day, night, life. Enjoy yourself and be happy.